Previously on X-Men.
I believe in my heart of hearts that that judge is not going to go anywhere.
Whoa. Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
But I believe Glanville has to recuse himself. I believe Glanville has to swallow his pride and swallow his ego and swallow the gavel because of one person who has destroyed this whole entire freaking damn Rico. And that's Woody. Why though? Why is he? How did he destroy it, bro? Because when it comes down to Cross, Brian Still's words are gonna have to be, when you had your ex parte meeting, did you feel coerced? What's Woody gonna say? You gotta say yeah.
You're wrong! All of you are wrong! To turn your backs on the rest of the world!
See? I said it. But y'all want Seti Nash to come out here and say, you know what? I got it wrong on Glanville getting recused. So here you go.
I'm sorry, I was wrong. I'm sorry, I was wrong.
See? Y'all got it. Nah, look, all right, we'll do it this way. All right, so, you know what? I'll take the L on that one. Yeah, I thought Glanville was going to stay and he wasn't going to get recused. I was wrong on that. But I was right in what I said about the ex parte meeting. So I'll do my victory lap on that one. The judge essentially said, once again, that, hey, you really should have just did this in the open, bruh. Because it wouldn't have been no difference. It would have looked better. Now, I ain't going to hold you. I think that was a dirty tactic. I think she did that because she knew if she would have ruled in any other favor, that would have been cause for mistrial. I believe that's why she really did it. I keep telling y'all, the lawyers have a brotherhood, so they're going to stick with that brotherhood. But I 1,000,000% believe that, hey, that freaking judge and all those judges got a brotherhood with Glanville. You got to remember, they gave Glanville money for him to be reelected. I'm sorry, you can't tell me that ain't dirty. But let's get to what y'all came for. Mr. A1 Sauce, Keith Adams, everybody.
Next.
Okay. So at this point, the previous judge has been recused. He will no longer be handling the case. It has been reassigned to Judge Shakira Ingram, another Superior Court judge at Fulton County. And so we move forward. You know, the interesting thing is what's supposed to happen is the trial just kind of picks up where it left off. But that's not quite that easy because there's still some outstanding motions. We're going to be asking the court for a mistrial. We've already asked the court for mistrial. And so the court's going to have to rule on that issue. The new judge is going to have to rule on that issue, whether or not the case can simply continue on, or whether or not the things that have happened that led us to this recusal are significant enough that the case should not continue forward.
Okay. So how many other motions is still hanging out there for you guys?
Oh, a good number. You know, there's the motion for mistrial. We filed a motion to correct some incorrect rulings that the previous court has issued. We have, I know there's someone else, you know, I'm sure there's going to be some bond motions filed.
Okay.
You know, we can address the issue of bond with this judge. So there are a lot of things that the new judge would have to address before the case moves forward.
Okay. Okay. So I heard through the grapevine that the state is trying to have them to start next week. Is that possible?
Sure. I mean, the judge could call us in tomorrow.
Think you'd be able to get a fair trial now?
You know, I'll be honest with you, Sylvia, my opinion, and again, without citing anything specific, you know, we've been trying this case now. It took us 10.5 months to get a jury. We've been trying the case for about 8.5 months. My belief is that there's some things that have occurred so far that have been improper in the case. Otherwise, we would not have filed a motion for mistrial.
Okay.
You know, we believe a mistrial is appropriate because of how the trial has been conducted, some of the rulings in the case. We think that's appropriate. And the only thing that we want for Jeffrey Williams, for Young Thug, is a fair trial. You know, I don't want anyone to do us any favors. anyone to rule in our favor if that's not the way the law demands.
Mhm.
All we want is for us to have a fair trial, for the judiciary to be unbiased, and then let's try it and let the chips fall where they may. We don't need prosecutors doing unethical things and trying to trick the court or be dishonest to the court. We don't need that. We've certainly conducted ourselves in an ethical manner throughout the course of this trial, and that's all we want. We want everything to be fair, and we firmly believe that if everything is done the way it's supposed to be done, if it's a fair, unbiased, impartial trial, that Jeffrey Williams is going to walk out of that courtroom a free man. He's going to be exonerated of all of these things that he's been wrongly accused of.
Yeah. Now, as far as bond, I was listening to Kayla the other day, and she mentioned about how they were already indicted. That's why it was difficult for them to get a bond. Do you think they're still going to have that same difficulty now, since this has gone this long and with everything has gone with this trial?
Here's the thing. The law presumes that people are entitled to a bond.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not that, they don't get a bond and you have to prove that they're worthy of a bond. The law actually presumes the other way, that they should get a bond, unless there is something that speaks in favor of or against them being released on bond. In our case, we've requested bond. We think bond was appropriate. Jeffrey Williams is not a flight risk. He's not a danger to intimidate witnesses. He's not a danger to the community. He is an internationally known individual. Where's he going to run to?
No way.
Right?
Yeah.
And we've proposed, more onerous restrictions on him that anyone would agree to.
Mm-hmm.
When we made our pitch for a bond, he should have a bond. He should be released on bond. And that's what the law. We believe that's what the law demands. That's not what we've gotten. But we believe that he should be a free man. We ought to be able to fight this case with him out on bond. And we're going to continue in that position. We're going to keep asking for bond.
Yeah,
and hope that this court sees things differently than the previous court did.
Mm-hmm. Because I was reviewing the last bond request that Steele did, and some of the things that Ms. Love brought up was stuff that was like old, like 2010 statements and things like. She had nothing that was like relevant that would be helpful for them, but they still was denied. You guys were still denied of a bond, and I didn't understand it, but I don't know the law, so.
Well, you know what? You don't have to know the law to know when something is fair or not.
Mm-hmm.
And never in the history of this country has the prosecutor's office grabbed selective lyrics out of songs and try to use those lyrics to twist them to make it seem as though a person is something that they're not, and to use that to argue that they should not be given a bond. So many things that the prosecution cited early on have proven not to be the case. And at this point, it is 2 years, more than 2 years, that this man has been in jail.
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah.
He's serving a sentence.
Absolutely.
And he hasn't been found guilty of anything. There are people who have been charged with murder, with multiple murders, with armed robbery, with trafficking, who are walking around because they have a bond. Mr. Williams is not charged with any of those things, and he's in jail for the past 2+ years.
Now, obviously, I just used Miss Sylvia's content, so y'all make sure y'all go check out the full interview. It's pretty good. She was asking some questions, and he answered the question that a lot of y'all been saying on as far as what I've been seeing. Hey, why are these lawyers doing these interviews and stuff like that? Really, what they're talking about is the proceedings, but Adams goes into more detail, more succinct, like he normally does. Here's what I think about what's going to happen next. I think the trial is still going to continue. I think Thug is going to be given a bond. I think she's going to kind of play it a little bit that we going to believe for a minute, oh, this is a good judge, this is a good judge, and then we going to fall right back into it. Hey, man, what the hell is she doing, bro? Time out. Because they have to go through so many motions. You can't, You can't with a logical mind say that the jurors ain't tainted, but the judge has to do that. So the judge has to poll them and all of that stuff. I don't think that judge is going to do that. Now, I could be completely wrong. I could be. The judge could nut up and say, you know what, I'm going to do the right thing, and I'm going to go ahead and basically say, you know what, let's dismiss this because the jury is tainted, and we're going to go for a mistrial. Now, if it's on mistrial on behalf of the state and the court, that's it. Thug goes home, beats the charges, all of that crap, and then they had to find new evidence to basically come back. And I don't think that Fulton County will do it. But the problem with it is y'all been sitting in a couple of comments. They call it Filthy County for a reason. I don't like the notion because it's it's a highly black populated county, but it is what it is. They have one of the worst jails in America. Y'all done heard about dude climbing through the freaking cell and basically stabbing the dude. Yeah. Dude dug up, got into the back of the jail, got into somebody else's room, and stabbed the dude up. True story. We will have the, what is it called? We will have a story on the judge, but there's so many lawyers doing interviews that I definitely want to take a gander at what they said and stuff like that, like Sharp, like Weinstein. So we just going to be going through all of that stuff, and then the judge stuff will come out basically on Saturday. I will be in Puerto Rico, so if you keep seeing me in the same clothes and stuff like that, I'm not fully homeless just yet. The U-Haul is still good. We good in the U-Haul. Shout out to Woody, pardon me. But no, I just don't believe that these judges want this trial to go like that almost. I think they kind of looking at this as a legacy thing for Glanville, and they owe it to them because honestly, this should be over and done with. I'm being fair as possible. I try to be unbiased as possible, but goddamn, I think they'll give him a bond. I said that before, but I have to reiterate that. I think they'll give him a bond because the way in which all of this crap has been happening, ain't nothing happened to none of the freaking witnesses on behalf of the defense. It's all been prosecution. Remember when Bean was up there and was like, y'all put my number out there and people calling my phone. People keep blowing up my phone. I got fired from my job. Yeah. So if anybody's messing up, it's the freaking prosecution, not the defense. Now, if Thug gets bond, that's going to be crazy. Crazy. But what's going to happen? Here's what I think is going to happen based upon what's been being said by a ton of people as far as attorneys that's in the case. The judge has the power to say, come in tomorrow. I think the judge is reviewing motions and essentially how to save this stuff, and she's looking at case law. Because one of the things that judge did, Krause did, was she basically said nothing that the judge did was wrong. It was the way that he handled it on July 1st. And let me say this because a lot of people yesterday did not make it that far because I pissed y'all off. I literally said I was right on the ex parte meeting, but I was wrong in the way in which I handled it because you guys were going off morality. I'm going off of what the law says. Morality-wise, you guys are right, 100%. I will even take it a step further. We all get coerced. Everybody. When a freaking cop says, hey, do you know why I pulled you over? I think that's coercion right there because what happens? Somebody, all black clothes or all dark blue clothing with a firearm on their hip and a freaking vest on is asking you, do you know the reason why they pulled you over, as though they can't just tell you it right there. So what happens? We start subconsciously, it doesn't matter your color, we start saying, I don't know, but I'll take a guess. But the biggest thing that's in our mind is, how the hell do we get up out of here? Honestly. It boils down to, man, all right, bro, how do I get up out of this? How do I get done? Like, let's get up out of here, bro. How do I get up out of here? Let's go. That's what I believe. So with all that being said, I think court resumes next freaking week. I want to shoot for Tuesday. I don't know why I like saying Tuesday, but I want to say Tuesday, and she going to go through all the motions. And she's going to be knocking out a ton of motions and said no here, no here, no here, no here. And the rulings that she's going to be able to lean on is the rulings of Judge Krause. And that's where I think people are going to start to turn on this judge, or I may find some stuff about this judge on Saturday. So give me some time, please, because I have to view a lot of stuff. And Saturday, I got y'all. Appreciate y'all who's still rocking and who ain't, man. Hey, it is what it is. We do what we do here. We have fun. Y'all have a right to disagree, but please don't believe I ain't petty enough to sit up here and not talk crap back. Like, no. Y'all can, everybody who's disagreed and all that stuff, y'all been disagreeing. It's the morons who come through and cussing me out and all that crap and everything like that. I'm just not going for it. I don't care. Whoever you thought I was, I'm not that person. I'll grow. I'll learn. Next live stream, you'll see. Every troll will be ignored. And y'all gonna be like, it's kind of boring a little bit. Setting that snap a little bit. I'll show y'all. You'll see.